But I just wanted to end today's program actually with a couple of arrivals here. I think I have 3 of them. Birds that you might see around the waterhole or that you might hear during our game drives. And again, for 2 of them I have added the sound so that when you don't see it, but you hear it, you might still recognize it and think, hey, summer is coming. The first one that doesn't have a very distinctive call. It has a nice call actually. And if you want to hear it, go to MJ's page on wilder.ning.com. She just recorded, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, a very nice little video also of this wildbugs eagle at the Gowrie waterhole. And sometime in this video the wildbugs eagle actually does its call, which is quite nice to hear. So if you're interested in that, go to MJ's page and look for wildbugs eagle, and then you'll find a little video clip for that. Oh, it's supposed to play now rather than. There's no sound with this clip. I'm setting up recordings from the waterhole cams, but still have an issue with getting the sound through properly. But I still thought I'd show you. It's quite a nice little clip, and it shows you how beautiful this bird is. Wildbugs eagle typically they migrate intra-Africa, so they don't go all the way to Europe or even further than that. And they typically arrive back here in this area around August, which for those of you that regularly watch the waterhole is also about the time that this wildbugs eagle showed up. And also it is a migrant that breeds in South Africa, so it breeds while it is here. The next one I wanted to show you, we've heard it a couple of times in our game drives recently, and also I think it was Simon and Rexon that were out. They actually saw a couple of them. It's a very beautiful bird. It's a kingfisher, a woodland kingfisher. Also mainly an insect eater, not so much of a fish eater. And I'll play the call, and then I'll check as well whether the sound level is right for that. Yeah, it looks like that came through quite nicely. It's almost like it's laughing at you. It's quite a nice sound, very recognizable once you've heard it a couple of times. And as time progresses, you'll hear lots of that sound. I'll just play it one more time. Yeah, so that's a woodland kingfisher, a very nice bird. There's another kingfisher that you won't. I thought I heard it outside, but it's a different bird. That you probably won't see here. It's called a mangrove kingfisher, which looks quite similar, but has a completely red bill. The woodland kingfisher's the bottom of the bill here, as you can see, the picture is more black. The mangrove kingfisher is completely red, and the mangrove kingfisher's head is more of a dark blue than the lighter color that this one has. Plus the third distinguishing feature is that with the mangrove kingfisher, the black ends here, this little stripe of makeup near the back is not in the mangrove kingfisher. But you're very unlikely to actually see a mangrove kingfisher this far from the coast. So woodland kingfisher, very nice bird sound, I think. Now this is typically one of the sounds of summer. If people hear that call here in South Africa, they will definitely think, summer is coming. And that is the red-chested cuckoo. I've got a picture of that. Also, some email exchange with, I believe it was Phil early this morning. This is a bird you rarely get to see. You hear it a lot everywhere in summer, but you don't see it that often. I was birding in South Africa for over 2 years before I saw it for the first time. Phil just let me know he's been birding for 24 years. He's only seen it maybe 3 or 4 times. but you hear it whenever you walk through a forest area or something. You hear it, and it's a very recognizable call. Yeah, there seems to be a little problem with my mouse. I think the batteries are running out, but let's get back to the cuckoo. Just unplug it. That's better. So yeah, red-chested cuckoo, a bird you hardly get to see, but a very recognizable sound. It's one of the birds that in Afrikaans is actually named after what birders think it's called, sounds like it. And then they say it's called Piet mijn vrouw, which means Piet, my wife. I don't know how they came up with that, or but that's the Afrikaans name for that bird, Piet mijn vrouw. If you listen to it again, you could find that rhythm in it, Piet mijn vrouw. Yeah, so it's up to everybody's imagination whether they actually heard it say that or say something else. But it's quite a nice sound. It's 3 syllables. A little bit goes down in tone, and it sounds a bit woody, a bit like the cuckoo clock sound. So it's a very nice and recognizable sound. Yeah, with that actually that concludes what I had prepared for today's program. So migration, and in the end a couple of bird sounds that you might hear in this area. I heard my first red-chested cuckoo for the season yesterday, and I saw during the chat that somebody heard it I think around the waterhole earlier this morning as well. So they have arrived in the area, and maybe if we do get lucky in one of the drives we might actually be able to show you one. But yeah, otherwise most of the time you will probably just hear it. So yeah, that leaves only one thing. As always, we end our program with the viewers challenge question. Last week I got quite a lot of correct answers, which I really enjoyed. It's always a nice sign to send that people are interacting and enjoying the little challenge. This week is a little bit a different one. Question is, what is the largest bird to have lived in Africa in recent history? Recent history, I would say, last couple of thousand years or something like that. So not really way down into the prehistory, also not the last 10 or 20 years, but let's say the last 1,000 or 2,000 years. So what is the largest bird to have lived in Africa in the last couple of thousand years? Maybe I should have just written that, would have been simpler. So yeah, that's the viewers challenge question for today. I hope to see you all back on Monday, October 20th, again 3 o'clock afternoon Central African time for the next WELearn. I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. And so I'm going to sign off now and hand over to Supiwe, who's going to entertain you for the next hour or so before we go on our afternoon drive. So for me, from the final control, it's goodbye for now. Over to Supiwe, and thank you for watching WELearn.